I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough cause climb. I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Hello, everyone. This is the Ebony Star Network, and here I am, Dame Frankie. For those who are new to our channel or hadn't been with us for a while, and normally my co-host, the the Black Knight, would be with me, but he is out, as he put it, dancing the jingle, dancing the jingle. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, or as I like to say, he's down sick. Um, he might pop up later, but don't be surprised if he don't. He's out sick. So to keep it going, tonight is our open mic night. We got several topics that we'll be talking about or discuss. Or we're gonna be voting on one to talk about. because some of them could pull you in, and we could be discussing it for quite a while. But we're gonna vote on that a little later. As we get more people coming in. All right, so I don't know if y'all heard in the news. Nature Boy has finally gone to court, and he's been found guilty of all counts, including rape. For those who don't know, Nature Boy is a cult leader for this cult. A while back, and he's been charged with not only the R word, but also holding people hostage, um, uh, recording them in sexual acts and putting it over the internet, either um, either to blackmail them, or hold them against it, or to punish them. Nobody wants their private business. You can't get more private than you having the sex with somebody, and then to put it over social media on the internet. Because once that's up there, that's not coming down. Okay. Oh, okay. Black Knight. All right. So I guess this is something he wants to talk on. But as I said, he's finally been charged. A couple of his wives has come forward, uh, and said their piece on the situation. Hello, Black
Uh-huh.
Knight.
Yeah, I'm here, y'all. Sorry, I got some energy. I want to talk about this one. I'm recovering, y'all, from a serious illness. I'll be back strong next week, but I may be in and out because I am on medication. So, but let me say something about this. This is, this guy is so stupid. This is the problem I got with black men. Y'all wonder why I talk about black men the way I do. You had an island or whatever you want to call it, a fortress with able-bodied black people that were willing to serve a purpose. And this what you do? You rape the women. This is why. Can you hear me? Am I coming through, y'all? Can anybody hear me? Tap one if you can hear me. Damn, am I coming in? I think she may have fell off. Dan, can you hear me? Am I coming through?
Okay, yeah, you coming through. I wasn't coming through.
All
Um,
right. Okay. So
okay, go
you
ahead.
know, all right. And this is a shame. This is the kind of image that black men have today. These oversexed, grown ass men with these teenage sexual mentalities, this jackrabbit sexual mentality. Like you never seen a woman before. Like you want to get all the women in the world, okay? And that's it. This is why you don't have anything. This is why people don't think you're worth anything. This is why people don't respect you. I mean, you can't even do business. You got able people. How many do you have done here, Dane? Over 20?
Um, Yeah, about that much.
You had 20 black people that was down hard with you with their boots laced up. You know what you could have got accomplished with those 20 people? Y'all could have opened up a youth center to help young kids. Y'all could have started a Head Start program to help kids. Y'all could have made a difference with that many people. You could have had something that you could have been proud of, but you chose to go to jail. You chose not to become a hero for doing something in your community to help advance your people. No, you passed on that and decided to become a criminal. Dang, what was the name of that criminal that the Pontius Pilate them, that murderer that they let out of jail to put Jesus in jail? His name
Uh,
Barabbas,
Barabbas.
right? So you chose to become Barabbas, a known criminal, and you want to grape women. Let me explain something to you, man. That is the greatest crime that you can commit towards a woman. It is an unforgivable crime. Women are so loving. There's so many women out here. You don't have to take no woman against her will. And this is the kind of image that you guys have. Even now, you are looked at as sexual deviants. Well into your 40s and 50s, you are still sexual deviants. You haven't grown past the teenage sexual stage. You're still running around here at 40 years old, thinking like a teenager when it comes down to sex. That's why you never grow up. And you tend to want young girls, even in your 50s. This is what turned many of you into child molesters. And these stupid messages that they give people to hold these people there are just beyond me. Me and Dame done heard these ridiculous sermons that we can't believe that anybody ever fell for any of this nonsense. They remember that one clip we had of him when he was talking about um, he had them standing in line or something.
Oh,
And,
they
and,
yeah, they couldn't sit down, or they had to be standing, or they were kneeling.
uh,
Hmm. But at
and
that
he was
time, they
on
were
some
standing. Hmm.
right. He was on some. Who am I? Who are you? Man, look, y'all got to stop with this spooky bull, holistic, fake, woke stuff. Okay, Dan, I'm gonna have to go. All right, y'all.
Hmm.
It was fun, but I got to go lay down.
Uh, hmm. Okay, yeah, he was all about women are supposed to be submissive to men. Nonsense. Corrupting something that's in the Bible. That was about women submitting to their husbands. Okay, and okay, yeah, it's all on women being submissive, and he's taking advantage of women that have been abused, that are trying to get away from situations, and they end up, instead of you helping them, you're using them or you're hurting them. Okay, yeah, you're using them. Or, I'm sorry, sorry about that. A little distracted. He's using them or hurting them or taking advantage of their need for protection. Now, of course, there's issues. Some people are about being unjust because he's a black man. He's being sentenced to life for a crime that normally does not be charged that with maximum. I think what is the amount of people, and they fixated on that he's being punished more by because he's a black man and he's given unjust sentencing. Um, Instead of that he admit to a lot of stuff is pedophilic, is predatory, is grooming, and keep trying to compare to, it was white man wouldn't be given that much charge, or the reason why the crime has been neglected so long is because it was done to black women. Okay, and I think we got forgetting that, wait a minute, he did the crime, he is guilty of it, and he's a person in a position of authority and trust, and he abused and misused it and used it to groom um, somebody in a weaker position. I say yes. If you want to, they want to put that it's not fair, but okay, but he did do it. Don't let the need for so-called fairness. Look, we know by now we're not going to get no fairness. Should we get these elements out of our community? Yes, we should. The fairness of, don't let you, in the need to have so-called fairness, equal rights with white folks, make you ignore the fact that he did do it and he is guilty of doing it, and he has hurt our community. He's hurt the women in the community. He has taken advantage of a person in a broken and weakened state. He has perverted their adoration. They're 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 seeing him as the savior, and he's groomed them to be pretty much a sex toy, to be a slave, trying to get out of slavery, not trying to put ourselves back in it. So, okay, so you're saying, so for those who Okay, sorry about that. Seem to be having a little technical problem, and I got dropped out again. Oh, hey Demetrius, I see you peeping there. Okay, so so what I was trying to say was, okay, you're trying to compare this man to a white man and saying that he's being charged more harshly because he's black. Good evening, Tanya. But what I'm saying is, you cannot see. You should. Well, I can't say you cannot see it that way. You got to see beyond that. If you get so caught up into that, you unwittingly giving a criminal a way to get out, give him a loophole to get out of facing the crimes that he's done. I personally think, okay, that he needs that. It'll uh, um it'll show an example for others. You do damage to your community by with these behaviors and these things, you should be put away for life, taken away from the community, so the community can be safe from you. Need to stop comparing ourselves to the white man. Yes, yes. Let's face it. World is not fair. White men would not be treated as harshly as us. But still, a whole year went into his sentencing, and it finally took the wives to open up and tell what's going on, especially since one of them had a child for him. But since he was saying things that sound pedophilish, I would think for her child's safety, maybe it's a good thing she opened up and told it. So Nature Boy, he's gonna have a life sentence from for all the charges put on him, especially as he's been found guilty of rape. Yeah, and and these young folks gonna need time to heal. I mean, he humiliated them, he held them hostage, he he exploited them for money, he groomed them and used them to pull others in to this cult. Because they thought it was a safe place. Okay, all right. So that's all I'm really gonna say too much about Nature Boy. Um, I think we shouldn't get blindsided into, well, if he was white, he wouldn't be charged that much time. No, no, no. He's he done wrong. Time's being done. If it was harsh on him, I frankly don't care. You know, um, it could be harsher, but this is harsh enough. Life sentences, and for the others who thinks to follow in his footsteps are already tiptoeing or got their are dipping their toes into the deep pool of what he was doing. Um, let it be shown. You gonna be next. Okay. I'm seeing things. I don't know. Let me see. See as long as last as long as possible. Okay. So All right, so we got possible topics that we're going to talk about, and we're going to vote whether we want to do this topic or not. Okay, okay, but before I move on to the topic, anybody want to discuss the Nature Boy? Before I move into topics that we possibly be discussing, the link is down in the chat. Let me know if you have any problems. I should have straightened out all the bugs on the link. All right. But in the meantime, here is the first topic. Are black women safe for living with black men or with non-black men? Vote 1 if you want to talk about it, and vote 2 if you don't want to talk about it. All right, can y'all hear me in the chat? Let's see. Okay, so we got one who wants. Okay, I guess it's just you and me, Demetrius. All right, all right. Are black women safe living with black men or non-black men? 1 for yes, that you want to talk about it. 2 for no, don't want to talk about it. And then there was 2. Okay, Demetrius, hit the link and let's talk about it. Since I don't have no nose up there. Okay, Tanya, you also want to talk about it? All right. That's 2 that wants to talk about it. All right. Have y'all tried the link yet? Well, maybe I should have just gave you all the topics and the number and let y'all just choose which one you want to talk about. Okay, Demetrius needs some more. Hey, Tanya.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Demetrius needs one before he comes up here. So what's your thoughts on are black women safe for living with black men or non-black men?
Well, I can't really say if it's by race, if a woman is safe with a black man or another man, because it just depends on the man, period.
Uh-huh.
But since we're talking about our group of men, I
Uh-huh.
guess that would still be the same answer. But from if you have to go by what you're hearing on the internet, I wouldn't trust any of them with a toothpick.
Yeah. Yeah. If you used to go by the internet. But what about the internet? Is it the news on the internet or is these men who are coming up on YouTube, social media, Instagram, that makes you feel um that that black women would not be safe with black men?
I feel it's the internet dudes doing this stuff. Me personally, I'm in Texas. We keep a little bit of Second Amendment with us. But in the event that my husband or any trustworthy male is near, which which is kind of silly to think that we'll be attached at their hip all the time. That's unrealistic. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the internet guys that make the narrative that, well, actually, according to them and their point of view,
Uh-huh.
they're the provider and the protection, but they got too many rules for it. I figure if you're a decent human being, you're going to want to protect no matter what or whom or what they look like or what they're not looking like or whatever. That's just for some men, they have that instinct to protect. But these internet dudes, I don't see that in them. I just see them as cowards.
Uh-huh. Okay. What about the ones that say, well, yeah, they would protect their family members, but they don't know about these women that they know nothing about.
Well, let's
Family
just be
members,
honest.
friends. Mm-hmm.
They never gave an example of protecting anybody in their family, because if you're talking, this is the thing that they don't get. There wouldn't be this need. Well, if you go by what they're saying and if you follow their so-called quote air quotes logic,
Uh-huh.
you're practically putting the female members of your family out there for those same men that's talking about how they're not going to protect women they don't know. You don't expect them to know your family. They're not going to protect your mom if it's out there, and you wouldn't protect theirs. So basically, they're just a bunch of contradiction. So it's just like they're just talking and whatnot. I don't think they would even protect their own if the situation calls for it.
Hmm. I I think when they put um a qualification to the protection, yeah, it gives them a loophole to not protect anyone, including their own. Okay, if she because there'll be terms like, if she would just listen to me or done as I said, such and such wouldn't happen. Or if she wasn't dressed such and such a way, or if she wasn't out a certain time of night, or she didn't go into this neighborhood or that neighborhood or this store or that store. You get what I'm saying?
Again, it's hypocrisy, because when they say stuff like that, my first question will be, what do you mean she's just that they can wear whatever they want? The men got to have restraint not to have those thoughts.
Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. Like yeah, the Black Knight says that I don't care if she's buck naked, she still deserves to be protected. I don't care if she's a prostitute, she still deserves to be protected.
And that's the point. And what they wear and thing doesn't really matter, because I remember years ago, a friend of mine's mother, she was, how they was always talking about how they want a woman with her natural hair, no makeup,
Uh
dressed
huh.
conservatively. She
Uh
was
huh.
trying to get home from work, and she was dressed conservatively. I mean, nothing assuming about her, just a regular plain Jane. And it
Hmm.
didn't stop a man from brutally essaying her,
Oh,
to the
I'm
point
sorry to hear that.
that they had to leave their home and move to another city, and she moved and transferred her another job because of her safety.
Ooh.
So that argument doesn't fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The point that you got to put conditions to safety question makes me question what type of person, what type of man are you, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could even bring that up with a woman who's dating. If they feel that this woman is not doing what they say, then that just gives them a very weak excuse to not protect her.
Uh-huh.
It could
Right.
be
Right.
some. It could be something like, "Oh, you didn't tell me goodbye. I ain't gonna protect you." Oh, you forgot to make my sandwich. I ain't gonna protect you. But you see what I'm talking about when it goes through that type of logic, especially how
Mm-hmm.
these guys on the internet be acting.
Uh-huh.
They can find any loophole they want to protect. Let's just be honest with yourself and just say, well, when you say I'm not gonna protect you, that's telling me that you're too weak to protect anyone.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, you'll throw the woman at whoever is in front of you to protect yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like UK Arsenal. We need to separate reality. That's the point.
Yeah.
A lot of these folks talking all this stuff don't live in reality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they base their point of view on. And if you're a young lady who's just coming into the world and just so happen to come across this type of stuff, and you don't have any solid male people in your family or guidance like that,
Right.
you're gonna be thinking some type of way. And to me, that's just like you're trying to chip away at these women to make it easier for you to get at them. And the older ones, I'm not gonna lie, we got some older ones that are kind of simple minded like that too. They're gonna believe the same thing too. But of course, those who don't need their protection, they're gonna consider it masculine. Well, a masculine man is not gonna give you conditions to protect you or not. A masculine man is gonna protect. Period. Whether it's his woman or family member or not. No conditions needed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you there. And that's what the
That
black
must
man
there
is.
must be a generation gap here,
Uh-huh. Okay, Demetrius.
because my like the way I was raised, I was not raised like that.
Well, how were you raised?
My father was very specific in telling me you don't have to save the world, you just have to save the people you love. And
Uh-huh.
so he was very specific in saying things like, okay, what that means is you don't have to, you don't necessarily have to throw yourself at the wind for a stranger. Yes, that's a nice gesture, but protect the people who mean the most to you, point blank, because those are the people who keep you grounded. They're your sort of kind of anchors. And so if those people go, that's when you get certain things like we had a situation in the family where this uncle of mine, he started like slowly like I don't know, it was like he just started becoming less and less motivated the more like you know when you get older and like you just people you knew just start dropping who meant a lot to you. Yeah, it was one of those situations and he just lost the drive to keep going. Now he didn't have a wife or kids or anything. He just lost the drive to keep going. He just did. So the way I was raised is you can just protect the people who mean the most to you. That's enough.
Okay, wait. Okay, what you say your uncle lost the drive to keep going. How's that connected to saving black women?
What do you mean?
Well, you
Some of the most important people to him happen to be black women.
okay. And so What he was constantly trying to save them.
No,
Or he's,
he would help them out. He would give them his place to stay at times, like if they fell upon hard times, stuff like that. He would help them out financially, stuff like that. If
okay.
they were ever in trouble, they could call him, you know, protecting.
Okay, and he stopped doing that. He stopped doing that now.
They're dead. He couldn't do it anymore because couldn't give it to him anymore because they died. So he lost drive to like
Oh,
keep going.
to keep going. Okay, so while he was trying to protect them, they died.
Yeah, old age.
Old age. Okay, well he was protecting them. He can't protect them from old age and stuff like that. But he did protect them. He didn't die to protect them. Okay, what he suffered from is the loss of them. But uh, that's part of he's mourning them. It's not that um it sounded like what your father was saying was don't risk your life to protect a woman you don't know over because you got family that you could protect. But you're using your uncle's example, and what he is he's mourning the loss of these women he saved. But he got them to old age. They didn't die because he couldn't protect them from somebody that was abusing them, um, and they got beaten to death, or the drugs took them, and they died from drug overdose. It sounded like they just died. He got them to die where they died of old age, natural causes. He's just mourning. He's just mourning them because he loved them. He loved them. And I think he's just very filled with grief right now, and his heart is breaking, and he feel like he can't do it no more. But over time he's going to heal, and he'll probably do it again. I don't think there's in him to just stand by if he sees someone in danger and let them stay in danger. But right now he's just mourning those they lost. But he got them to that point. It's just normal life and death situations. You get what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I wasn't saying like what he what he was doing was like a failure or anything. What I was saying is like I guess like those women supported him in a way that like kept him grounded,
Uh huh.
and I guess that helped him find the strength every day to keep going, even if things weren't going the way he had planned.
Uh huh.
You know, just being friends, you
Hmm.
know, having somebody in your corner.
Hmm. Yeah.
Man, you know what, man? You Negroes today sound like scared little kids. The stuff that I heard you guys talk about today, I mean, it makes me sick to my stomach. You guys don't have any manhood. You don't have any. All you sound like Mr. Rogers. You know who Mr. Rogers is?
Yeah, I
Demetrius?
grew up with Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, all you guys sound like Mr. Rogers. None of you sound like you got any dog in you, any fight. You don't even sound like you could take a punch. You know what I'm saying? Now, how you doing, Miss Tanya?
I'm doing fine. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, thank you. Well, actually, I'm a little under the weather. I ain't supposed to be on here, but I had to come up here for this a little bit. Um, is she is the black woman safer with non-black men? I don't know, but I do know this: she isn't safe with this generation of black men. I don't know what the hell. this generation of black men are. And no, she's not safe with this generation. She'll be safe with my generation because we was those, those old school protectors. We protect the black woman, period, whether she was in our family or not. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of black man is not being produced today. The type of black man that's being produced today is an adversary of black women. I mean, I'm hearing black men say stuff like, the greatest threat to the existence of a black man is a black woman. Who says that? I mean, they've even making mockery of something as beautiful and as sacred as childbirth. Saying that the woman is shitting out a litter of puppies. How disrespectful is that to childbirth? You got weak noodle ass guys on here talking about they don't want to pay for a Happy Meal for a kid. And get into full blown arguments about it. B, I ain't got to take care of your kid. A Happy Meal, $20. So this generation of black men, absolutely not. She's not safe with it. I yield the mic.
Okay. I
And
think
I ain't even
that's
got, oh, I'm sorry. And I ain't even get to the stuff you and I used to cover, Dane, because
uh-huh.
we ain't had a heart no more. You know, I still think about that poor girl every other night with that hole in her face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Oh my God.
Yeah. I do.
I still can't get that out of my mind.
Mm-mm-mm.
You know, and that broke my heart, you know, and my heart is still broken over that. I just can't get that out of my mind. So yeah, this generation of black men, I don't even, first of all, I don't know what kind of black men are these. I don't know what kind of black men Demetrius is. I didn't grow up with black men like this. I grew up
What are
with
you
hard
talking
hitting
about?
dudes.
Are you
Oh,
putting the stuff that you said before on me? Because when did I
well,
say any of that stuff before?
no. I didn't say you said it, but you come from this generation. Many of your
Um,
generation are saying those
no,
things.
the dudes that you see talking on panels aren't my age. They're like 30 plus.
I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the guys from your generation. You, Mr. Rogers, sounding dudes. You guys are
You're
tripping,
gonna
man.
have to give me
You're
an
not saying.
example, man, because
You're not
I'm still
saying.
trying to pinpoint.
Listen, I don't want to make this about you. Let me just say what I'm saying. I don't want to have a. I don't want to have a go around with you. It's just saying what I'm saying. Yeah, this generation of black men. I don't know who you are. I've never seen guys like you. You guys don't have no masculinity, no dog in you. You're afraid to fight. A man is a fighter, bro. A man's essential nature is strength. You're supposed to love to fight. How are you going to protect your family if you can't fight? Everything is not done with a pen and a pencil. Sometimes you got to get out there with your fists and settle situations. Sometimes it's your brawn that will ward off your enemy, not a pen, not a pen and a paper. And you guys are getting punked out by these white boys, letting white boys chase you around, put you in dresses. It's shameful. And nah, the black woman ain't safe with your generation. I'm sorry. She's just not. I yield the mic. First of all, y'all can't even Y'all can't even dress like men. Y'all out here dressing like women.
Um, okay.
I yield the mic.
Here's my thing. All right.
I'll be back, y'all.
So
I want you to
I
take
don't.
that. First of all, that's not a shot at you. I'm talking
I
about your
get that's not a
generation.
shot at me.
All right.
It's a shot at my generation,
Mm.
and on some points I'd agree. Oh crap, man! Dang, you still having those Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm gonna submit my response right here. All right, that's not a shot at me or anything, right? Because none of what he's talking about I've ever said before on this panel or after this panel. So I'm gonna just depersonalize my what I was gonna say. All right. So while yes, I'd agree with the way dudes are more liberal about how they dress. And that I mean liberal in terms of politics. Like I I have yet to see a situation where at least the black men that I'm around have not been able to protect black women in the way that he's saying. Because I'm actually like, here's the thing: I actually listen to black women when they speak. More than half the time, when they're talking about protection, yes, they do include physical protection, like the ability to fend off people and fight people. More than half the time, though, they're talking about like protecting their jobs, protecting them from SA, rapists, liars, protecting them from toxic people in a relationship. Not that they're physically abusing them. That when they say stuff like that, from what I've gathered, it's like calling them out their name, certain things like that. And the thing about it is, I don't think we have any stats on that for my current generation. So all I can do is like all I can do with this information that Black Knight just brought forth is just give my experience, because I'm actually part of that generation and I have friends who are part of this generation who are black dudes, right? So I'm on the ground, boots on the ground, and I can tell you what's going on, and it's not really as bad as he says it is. Now, with the propaganda and everything, that's horrible. You check out TikTok, Instagram, um, Twitter. Yeah, the propaganda is all there, but you already have the tools to manipulate your algorithm the way you choose. Okay, if you don't want no give a shit on your TL or your for you page, well then you can literally click the three dots in the top right corner and say don't show content like this no more. I don't like it. And you can teach your algorithm how to forward things to you. That's what I've done because I just don't agree with certain stuff. Like, like how Black Knight, I'm talking to you, Dame. You know how Black Knight's always talking about crap about the Manosphere dudes and everything. Yeah, I manipulated my algorithm to never show me stuff like that again.
Uh-huh.
So the people who want to be there will be there. We have no stats to actually like really talk about what he's putting forth. We have stats on the millennials all day. But for Generation Z and Generation Alpha, um, we ain't got nothing on us yet. Not really. If you want to, I would say if you want your best bet, I would say look up IPV, interpersonal violence in teenage relationships. That's your best bet.
You know something, man. In my humble opinion, I think the black woman shouldn't pursue black men this generation. Because for one, this generation of black men, they're not equipped to protect her. You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do if you out with your woman and your child, and somebody comes to try to abduct your wife, your child, try to rob you or whatever? What you gonna do? Call the police while they beating you up? While they beating up your wife? What you gonna do? You have to physically be able to beat people back or decapacitate somebody to stop them from hurting your wife, hurting your child. You can't be some slight build dude with a nasal twang that looked like he came out of a pack of Twizzlers. You got to have some dog in you, man, to protect your family. I don't hear none of that from you dudes, man. So I think I love black women too much. I don't think she should date you. I think she should go old school, find some older dudes that care about her, and deal with it like that, and leave you new generation dudes alone. Y'all gonna end up marrying each other anyway. Walking around here talking about you choosing your sex. Who does that? Tight pant, tight fitting clothes, trying to serve, show your, your hips like women. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
And y'all out in the floor with your ass up, twerking more than women do. Hell, the women done stop twerking. You look up twerking now, right? A bunch of black men come up. It used to be black women. So no, I don't think that she should even pursue any dating. If she wants to stay black, she needs to try to go with the old school. Find some old school dudes. Or somebody behind your generation. This generation, I hate to say it, needs to be left to wander in the wilderness until the last one of them ain't no more. That's how I feel about this generation. I
Tanya,
yell at my
you've been quiet. You alright? I guess she's busy. Go ahead, Dame.
Okay, all right. As me and Tanya was saying earlier, okay, on social media, as you like to call it, the propaganda. Yes, we don't hear the protection of black women, but when we out there, we see out in the world, we see plenty of black men. Although I have to admit, it is of the older generation. Um, I tend to see a little bit more Generation Alpha than Generation Z, because right now Generation Zs are in school, are they working,
Yeah, we're in
and
college
yeah,
right now.
and the ones that I know that are working, they have picked up the mindset of their elders, and um, they will be more outgoing to protect the women that they know in their family, but
you
they
gonna let
will help women they don't know.
you gonna let
Mhm.
UK Arsenal come on up, Arsenal. See you back, Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is dead.
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. I had to take a call because it came in right when I was getting ready to say something.
What you gotta
But
say?
I was listening, but for as far as I'm concerned, it just depends on the type of men. Because like me, I'm Generation X, and when my father passed at 36,
Mm-hmm.
of course he made sure and the men of the family not only just helped raise us with my mother and all that, we was always protected. And then
Mm-hmm.
I never had a problem with hopefully never having to lean on anyone for protection, for goodness sake. But from what I'm understanding and looking at, I just noticed that, yeah, a lot of those younger, the younger generation, some of those are saying this stuff about, well, I'm not going to protect them if it was this, I'm not going to protect them if it's that. And I guess you could say, in a sense, it's a generational thing. But then again, what I find disturbing is when it's some of our own generation is feeding this type of stuff to the younger generation, and then it's just just kind of like how a lot of the bad behaviors from the silent generation and the baby boomers was perpetrated on our generation. It's just that some people just generate to bad things instead of stuff that's common sense. Of course, you're going to use your head and not put yourself in a situation where you could be harmed, but you would think the way that they're talking, they're not going to even protect their own women that they're with. It just makes it seem like, here, have my girl, save me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they
And
don't
I'm
have any
not with that.
courage.
I'm not with that.
Right. They don't have any courage. They don't have any dog in them. They don't have any fight in them. They're not tough. They're not rough and tumble. They have no real threat of any kind of physicality at all. That cannot protect a woman. It just can't. She
Yeah,
may
but
as well get a
online, you
gun and
hear them talk about it all the time that they're Superman online, but they really kryptonite. Somebody has the
exactly,
kryptonite for them. In the real world.
exactly. And I don't even think a lot of these dudes can even defeat a woman in physical combat. I think a woman would kick a lot of these dudes' asses. I'm serious. And if she can kick your ass, you ain't worth you ain't worth being with her.
Yeah, I could say because I was a tomboy. I'm the oldest out of three brothers. I had to
Mm,
show them how to fight growing up.
yeah, yeah. So this generation, they can't take a punch. They wear makeup. I mean, it's a disgrace. You know, a woman, when you going with them, you may as well be going with a lesbian. I mean, it's that bad.
One thing I find kind of out there and kind of grinds my gears is I refuse to have someone with frosted tips telling me on how to be the type of woman I should for my husband. I'm like, squeeze me. Um,
So,
we've been in this game for over 30 years. I believe he knows what he got already because it's not suitable for you. I don't have to be feminine for you. I
what's the
don't have to
force?
be that submissive or whatever you think you're supposed to have for you. Heck, I'm not hardly half of the time submissive to him, but he understand I'm a grown person. He's a grown person. We direct each other and roll the way we roll. That's how we do. But as far as protecting me, it's my job to make sure I don't put myself in a situation where he needs to protect me.
Well, no, that's okay. I'll buy
But
that for $1.
don't get it twisted. If it came down to it, he ain't saying he's Billy Badass or anything like that. But
Hmm
he's not gonna make it easy for you.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to put him in. He'll protect you, so you don't want to put him in an unnecessary situation. I got you. But let me
Uh-huh.
ask you a question. What is the frosty tips? What is that?
Yeah, I've never heard that. What is that?
Yeah,
The
yeah. What is
guys
that?
with the dreads with the frosty tips. They have
Oh,
their
you
hair. You
talking
know
with
how
the
they have their
blonde dudes?
dreadlocks.
with the
They had their
blonding.
dreadlocks or the twist, and they would have the ends of them frosted like a blonde or a blue or some type of
Oh,
brownish
okay.
color like that.
Yeah, that's some girly shit. See, I don't even. That's why I don't know. Yeah, I'm a hardcore dude. I'm
Yeah,
extremely masculine. Yeah,
but but if frosted tips, if he could protect his woman, then go on with it. But at the same time, that's not what's being presented out there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. A man isn't supposed to mimic a woman in no way, no kind of way. Hair,
Oh,
physical appearance, nothing.
I mean, you talking about all this stuff about not wanting to protect a woman. I'm like, dude, you cold jacking my style right now. I don't believe you could protect a woman. So okay, I'm just saying.
I know, I get what you're saying. Every time I see a young boy with dangling earrings, I'm disgusted. I like give that back to your little
So then, don't you got
sister or
another?
your mama and stuff like that.
Then don't you got another hot topic too?
Oh,
You got
okay.
They
another
can
one,
talk about the
maybe.
nature boy one.
Huh?
Oh yeah, that dude, man.
Mm.
Uh,
He's
yeah.
stupid.
And from what I'm seeing, some of the content creators concentrate on that as a black man, and a white man, the black man is given more time. I was like, yeah, it don't really matter to me. You're guilty of it. You done it. You gonna? I think you need to do some time.
Yeah, I don't care
And
nothing about none of that. He raped black women. He get what he deserved.
I mean, if you're gonna follow the path of David Koresh with that cult type thing, you just better be lucky you was there to even stand trial, because David Koresh missed a sticky end. The Waco
Yeah.
thing,
yeah.
and he was running a cult and was doing all that stuff. Instead of getting caught, he went out in a blaze of glory. But they caught you and put those fanciful handcuffs on you,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
you got to stand trial. I mean, just because you black, I mean, you did something you shouldn't have been doing, and you got caught.
Mm-hmm.
As
yeah.
far as I'm concerned, with him, let the punishment fit the crime.
Right, but who even care about it? Who even come out? Well, if he was a white man, why? Who cares about that? He committed rape against against black women. I don't give a damn what kind of punishment seems like, so forth or whatever. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? He deserved it. Matter of fact, I think life is too good for him. Okay?
Mm.
I'm talking about, so if he was white, man, fuck out of here. So are you saying that you condone rape? Are you defending a rapist? Say that he should have got less time? That don't make any sense to me. What kind of logic is that? I would never defend a rapist and say, man, if he was white, he would have got less time. I don't give a F about that. Matter of fact, because he black, he should get more time. Because he should know better. Out there graping our women. He lost his mind.
Mm. I don't know what they mean by trying to make that comparison. What's
Yeah.
his name? The guy that was caught trafficking young girls. Well, look, he pretty much
Um.
did something. I can't think of his name right off the bat. He was the one that deleted
Uh.
himself
Epstein?
in jail, allegedly.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Epstein.
he had
Epstein.
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 I mean,
Epstein.
come on. He was doing stuff like that too. And then when they finally caught him, he couldn't stand up to the rap. And I still have my theories on that one. He
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he
he
die?
kind of left this world. Yeah, he left this world on his own volition in jail,
Hmm.
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. But
Allegedly,
nah,
Allegedly.
I can't.
allegedly,
I
he.
can't believe. You know what? That's just like Brother Polite, right? He got
Mm-hmm.
convicted, and people coming to, well, if he was white, they would have did all that. Man, what? What do you sound like saying that?
Like you weak bread, you weak bread men with your whataboutisms. It's so easy for you to Monday morning quarterback something like that. But here's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
You did some stuff you wasn't supposed to do, dude. What different does it make? Your skin color determines what you get. You somehow, some way knew that that was wrong. You knew that somehow, some way you were going to get caught. It was your ego that kept you going to think you could get away with it. And so you got caught. And so you got judged. So you got shackled. What the skin color got to do with it? Nothing.
Uh, you thought because the society, the way they treat black people, because you kept it in with black people, you did the crime against black people, that they was gonna let you get away with it forever.
Or in their case, they used to, as they say, the dominant society, doing things and getting away with certain things. And your ego seemed to think that you were equal on par with them until you get in front of that judge.
Mhm.
You see how equal you really are.
All right, James, I gotta go now for good. Don't forget your other topic, okay?
Okay.
All right.
It was
All
Say
nice
right.
talking with
good
you,
night,
Black
y'all.
Knight. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Well, it.
Nice talking to you, Miss Tanya. Hey, Demetrius, holler at you later, man.
Okay.
Peace.
The next topic is: do non-black men protect black women more or better than black men?
Mm, I don't. I don't even know if they do it at all. I ain't gonna lie to you. Where I go to school, like over in Waller, like y'all know where I go to school, right? It's
Um.
literally like the same road where the Sandra Bland situation happened. So
Oh, you right there.
Mhm.
it's literally right on the. It was. It's the college is not even a mile away from where it happened.
Whoa.
So I'm like, yeah, because I keep thinking about whenever I hear this concept, because over the pandemic, I watched both, and I've told people this before. I watched both the Manosphere and the Divestors, right?
Mhm.
Cynthia G and them, Mr. Palmer, Jessica X, them, right?
Mhm.
So there was a story I remember this, and I watched Paris Milan too and Chrissy. So and they're really a part of the colorism tube gang and all that. So one of the things that I noticed in a case with the lady by the name of Tanya, stop me if you heard this one, Lauren Smithfield.
I've heard that.
Yep.
Mhm.
And whenever like the divestors and like the colorism tube brings up, oh, non-black men are better at protecting black women than black men are. Um, Tanya, you want to tell them what the police said? They had the prime suspect who was there the night she died. She died of an overdose, right? And she was a
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle content creator. She was a sugar baby
Uh huh.
to to some white dude, right? And when the night that she died of the overdose, right? Keep in mind, all we heard about when it came out was that he was the last one with her when she died. You want to know what the police said? They said, "Oh, he seemed like a nice guy." So I'm like, I don't know. That's a pretty dangerous point to assert. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, I'm thinking about the Breonna Taylor situation too. And then I'm thinking about a situation that happened just 2 weeks ago when I was driving in Waller County, and like there was this lady at a traffic stop. Four cops. There was a black lady. Four cops surrounded her and everything. I was like, why you need four cop cars? So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't, cause yeah, just as easily you could assert like if anti-blackness wasn't a thing, then they would put these women in safer communities with them. But then I think about the situation that Real Talk with Yanni tackled, and basically what happened was the like this girl and this guy went on a hike, right? And she was saying she got too hot, and she kept wandering around aimlessly because the white dude she was with, he was like oh, just go back down and meet me. And she kept wandering around, and she died of dehydration or heat stroke, one of the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a dangerous point to assert that they're more protected with them when anti-blackness is as big a thing in other cultures. But I don't know. That's just a horrible point to assert. And these are recent cases, like past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And while yes, I guess you could assert the point, it might be a hell of a lot safer in the black community with as much racism as it persists today. And I'm not talking about lynchings and all that. Like, if you guys think racism and prejudice is over, talk to black girl geeks and gamers and black guy geeks and gamers. Like, behind those accounts is where racism really persists. Like, talking about nigglets, talking about how they gonna burn people's house down, how they gonna catch you out. I'm just saying, man, that is a dangerous point to assert, especially with me growing up that way, with hearing how white dudes, especially, and to some extent, Latino white dudes use racism as a bonding experience. Okay, and even if you want to bring up the Indians or the Native Americans, they anti-black too. Like, if you think colorism in the black community is bad, they got a whole skin bleaching industry in India and in India, and they bring that culture over here. I'm anti-blackness is worldwide. Okay, you ain't gonna necessarily get away from it, but what you can do is socialize the people in your circle and your children out of that. So to recognize that as wrong and create at least a safe space in the black community.
Mm, indeed. It just reminds me of that old saying that you get a steak, it's cooked the same, everyone served that steak, but it tastes different to each person that eat it. So when you really think about that, I can honestly say that it's like a flip of a coin. You might get those from the dominant society that will protect somebody ongoing. You might get those who don't. A lot of that just depends on the who, the what, and the where. You know, you can't really, it's just like with black men. You can't really say who will protect you, who don't, if you have to go by examples of what you're already seeing now. Because, you know, we have different races of men in our family, and I have friends of different races, especially when I was working. Because, like you said, your spouse can't be with you all the time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
trying to get this to. Anyway, sorry about that. But what I was saying was that, you know, it's kind of like depends on the person, what type of person you are. You know, you don't expect a complete stranger to jump in front of a bullet for you.
Uh-huh.
So,
Hello?
Hello. Hello?
Did she cut out?
Okay. I think so. Or she's
Okay,
frozen.
I'll say this real quick. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
when that point was brought up, the initial prompt, I thought about the stats that Paris Milan and Cynthia G would tout before Cynthia got kicked off YouTube and everything.
Uh-huh.
Um, they would say every 5 hours, every 4.5 hours, a black woman dies or is killed. Um,
Uh-huh.
and the thing is, I went to go like actually look that stat up because if they're telling it, like I should be able to find it somewhere. But the only thing I found that was similar in a way
Uh-huh.
was a South Africa study saying every 6 hours a black woman is killed.
Mhm.
And it's only talking about South Africa. So I don't even really know if what they're saying is notable because if in my eyes, okay, you know how many 5 hour intervals are in a year? Like because my immediate thought is if that's true, then why are you still alive? Shouldn't you be dead by statistically?
Um,
And that's not me trying to like be snarky or anything. It's just it just never made sense.
mhm.
Cause the same people said like every what would they say? Every 25 minutes a black man is killed by another black man. And I was like, if that's true, then why am I still alive? Why have I not
Okay.
had an instance of gun violence on my or 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 fatal violence on my campus? A
Well,
small concentration of black men at that.
all right. Okay. Well, take it like this. Okay. So they said about every 5 to 6 hours, a black woman is killed. Okay. Okay. One, they're not saying whether it's just in this country or around the world. Two, there has been instance where you or someone close to you has been in danger. Like I've had a gun pulled on me. So I'm not dead, but that doesn't mean that the next person who at the same time had a gun pulled on them didn't their trigger got pulled. So it missed me and unfortunately got this other person. And and then we do it 5 hours. Something happens where a person came into danger and one person didn't and another person did. Okay, let's see what's going on here. All right. Okay. She's gonna be right back. So, and then you gotta understand, as black people, we're not all the time showcased on the news, or reported missing, or it may be in that state, that city, that town, but we ain't gonna know every black woman in the world or every black woman outside of our own state. Shoots, some of us barely knows the ones outside of our own town. You know, we barely know about the ones outside our own town. And that's those that might have been reported missing that we might know of, those that their bodies was right there. And as I said, we're not going we can't say that is absolutely wrong. We don't know around the country, you know, and that's the one. And even the ones that are even if we take the ones that's around the country, that's the ones we know about. There are women that's reported missing. We don't know if they're alive or dead. uh oh, and do they consider children and girls, you know? What age range are we talking about? We talking about 18 to Whatever. Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know the stat that they're trying to pull from, because the only one that I saw that was talking about it, like every so and so hours, was a South African studying specifically crime in South
South
Africa.
Africa.
Okay,
And what
so
made that?
that's my thing. I was like, so are they?
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, okay, are they asserting that
That particular incident?
worldwide? Are they saying that worldwide every 5 hours? Because I'm not talking about that particular study. I'm talking about the people on YouTube, why they brought that, why they conflated. Because ideally, I should have been able to find that statistic that they're talking about, and the only thing close to it that I found was that South African study. And I don't know what I don't know. I wish I could have been there in the chat, listen to him like just break this stuff down, because I have yet to I have
Yeah.
yet to find anything remotely like that. The only thing that would condemn the U.S. population of black men, right, is DV that results in death. If it doesn't result in death, it's actually pretty even. The numbers are actually pretty even. They're only like 5 to 7 percentage numbers away from each other at any given time. But the only one that would really condemn black men is like the DV numbers for like DV that ends in death,
Mhm.
which is the ones that most people know. So
Okay.
that's what I wanted to bring into the conversation. Do with it what you will. I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay. I get what you're talking about because I was trying to type it in there just a few minutes ago. It was trying to give me death. But here's what I was the find that came close. And this is more like a comparison. Black women are 6 times more likely to be killed than white women, data reveals. Paper includes a decade worth of data from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention among black women ages 25 to 44 across 30 states. So that ain't even the whole 55. And that's between 25 and 44. A paper published Thursday in the Lancet Medical Journal analyzed homicide rate of black women ages 25 to 44 across 30 states. In the U.S., black adult women are 6 times more likely to be killed than their white counterparts, troubling new data reveals. This was as of February 9th, 2024. At least that's when this article is written. A paper published Thursday in the Lancet Medical Journal analyzed the homicide rate of black women ages 25 to 44 across 30 states. The data was collected between 1999 and 2020 by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention National Vital Statistics System. Homicide was classified in this study as death by shooting, piercing, cutting, and other forms of violence. Racial disparity varies among states. In Wisconsin, for example, black women were 20 times more likely to be killed than white women. Black women living in Midwest and Northeast states were also more likely to be killed by a firearm, the paper found. The studies was designed to provide more comprehensive data about homicide rate among black women and fill in the gaps in existing literature, says Bernadine Waller, the paper lead author and postdoctorate psychiatric research fellow at the Columbia University Irving Medical Center. Okay, so what do you think of that so far?
I mean, okay, that didn't say like the amount of
Uh,
time. If
yeah.
anything, that just correlates with the gun violence in the black community
Mm-hmm.
between
Mm-hmm.
black men. Of course, like it's because black women are in proximity to, more in proximity to black men. Black men are pew pewing each other.
Okay.
Like I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. The study was designed, well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's why they're saying less danger because black women are more likely to be in proximity of black men than they would be with white men. Because what about maybe less than four, maybe about 4% of black women actually date out or marry out.
I
Mm-hmm.
think it's like 9% actually.
Mm.
Crystalline cares and tries to push 12%, but it's actually like 9%.
Mm. Okay.
But
All right.
what I would push back with that is most of the prison system is white.
Where at?
No, just across the US, like the racial population is just it's more so white. And of course in certain areas like Chicago, you're gonna have a higher black population, probably. It's but overwhelmingly the prison system is white.
Mm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
just if you don't even you can look it up, but you don't even really need stats for that one because we're still considered a minority in this country.
Yeah, but we are usually more heavily sentenced, so you usually figured that it would either be more or where there's a higher black population, there it would be more blacks in prison in those areas.
Yeah, and yeah, higher concentration and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I'm saying if you look it up right now, yeah. That's what I'm saying, Mel. That's what I'm saying, like by a lot. So
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we might get harsher sentencing and all that, but I mean the prison population. Like I even asked my dad about this. Like he even had to admit like it's mainly white people in there.
But they yet they use us as the face of prison, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what I can pull up. Okay, mass incarceration
Oh,
and what kind of
Mel. I don't think you know the prompt. I don't know if you were here. Okay, so the prompt was: Are Black women safer in the Black community versus other communities? Do with that what you will.
mhm. Oh, there it is. All right. Yeah, we just kind of wandered over into this area. Okay. Okay, I'm putting the link down again in case anybody else want to come up. Let's see. Let's see. Can it really be true that most people are legally innocent? Okay, wait. How did that end up with the prison population? Okay. Okay, I gotta filter through all the stuff to get to the main part I'm looking for. Pre-trial detention. Huh? Mm-mm. Okay, maybe I should take a look at the other one because they're not giving me the answers I want. Okay, let's see. The science. Okay, let me back up a little bit. It seems okay. Rate. Okay, here we go. See overview. All right. Ooh. Okay. You. Okay. So according to this stat, you're right. White non-Hispanic, 64%. Let me see, 39% of them are incarcerated, like 45 per national um, incarceration rate per 100,000, 450 per 100,000. Hispanics are 16% of the population, 19% of the incarceration, 83 per 100,000. Blacks, 13% of the population, 40% of the incarceration population, 2,306 per 100,000. Uh, okay, according to that graph, blacks are incarcerated 5 times more than whites are. Hispanics are nearly twice as likely to be incarcerated as white. Hmm. What am I missing here? Oh, hey Mel. As far as the every 6 hours, it came a from a woman who works in domestic violence. She started heavily spreading information because so many were being unalive in a short span of time. Oh,
Mel,
okay.
can you point me? Can you point like she and I to? Because I assume an article was written or something. This is just an assumption. Can you like point to an article or a study?
All the
Because
views needs
I'd
to
actually cover this. Might be one of the few times I actually do a video.
all the abuse need to stop. That's what's important. The numbers are the numbers. They will be different in every article you pull up. Mhm. But as I said earlier, I think for every person that there's a miss from where they could have been unalive, there's a hit somewhere else. As I said, I had a gun pulled on me, and the man sounded angry enough where he was going to pull it, but he didn't. Just wanted me gone.
Sorry,
Okay, there's
sorry.
a couple of
I'm
late.
not annoying you. I'm doing an assignment at the same time. It's just a PowerPoint. You just got to do bullet points. So
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm not
There's
being
a
rude or
couple.
nothing.
Oh no, I understand. There's a couple of ladies who do videos exclusively on this problem. Mhm. Okay. Tanya is back. But I
Yes,
don't.
finally. Sorry about all those interruptions. I was trying to pick my brother up from work, and everybody decided at that moment they had something juicy to say when it really wasn't nothing.
Okay. I'm glad to see I ain't the only one that happens to. So far, I've trained the rest of them. Don't call me on no Saturday. Don't call me on no Saturday night. You can forget it. I'm busy. I'm doing other stuff.
Yeah, but on some of it I had to humor because I it was time to he switched his schedule,
Uh,
so I had to pick him up because he doesn't drive.
okay.
And
Yeah.
then of course there's family because as of now, when he was talking about those stand-up men that believed in protecting, we had lost one in our family.
Oh,
And
okay.
he was one that always protected us, even from afar.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
My uncle, one of those
Yeah.
ones that stepped up when we needed him the most.
Hmm.
Okay, so catch me up. What's the topic so far?
Okay, we had when we had moved to do non-black men protect black women more or better than black men. We had got into the stats of or couldn't find the stats on that a black woman is killed every, is it 5 hours or 6 hours? I never was certain which
It
one it
gets
was.
lower every single time I hear it. Like when I first started hearing it, it was every 6 hours, then it was every 5 hours, then it was every 5.5, then it was every 4.5. I don't.
That's big.
It's a very inconsistent talking point.
That's because the mind is saying that then, like you said, why am I still here? Why are we not hearing more or more about black women?
Yeah,
And
because
I'm saying,
let me say it. Let me say it because it might not sound right coming from you. Okay. So let me say it like this. Okay, so if I think it was every 25 minutes or something, a black man, two black men kill each other, or a black man kills another black man, or something like that. And I was like, okay, I'm not super good at math or whatever, but do you know how many 25-minute intervals are in a year? And if that's true, then why am I still alive?
Point
mhm.
Why
made.
is my professor still alive? Yeah,
If that's
I
the
just
case, why
why
is
is
the
my
brother I
dad
just
still
picked up is
alive?
still alive? My husband, my sons, why are they?
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. And then the point with the every four, if you want to go it at its lowest, every 4.5 hours, every 4.5 hours, a black woman is killed. And I was like, okay, then why is my sister still alive? Why is my mom still alive? Why is my current professors, many of them, still alive? Why are the girls, the young women who I grew up with, still alive? They're still alive. They're fine.
Mm, well, at the same time, I don't know where they got that stat from, or if
Well,
there's a time.
the point I asserted, Tanya, was like the only thing that I could find closest to it was a South Africa study about femicide. That's the only thing I could find close to it, and that was
And I
only
thought that
talking
was
about South
only.
South African homicides.
I thought that was talking about a report from the DV report that they did here. I didn't know if it was a
That's what
breakdown or
Mel
not.
said. She said Mel said something. She said, what did she say? As far as the every 6 hours, it came from a woman who works in domestic violence. Um, she stated heavily spreading the information because so many were being unalived in a short span of time. So that's why I was like, can you point me in a direction to like an article or something? Because that's not even a good thing to go off of because studies take years to develop, months.
Yeah,
So ideally, there should be something to point toward.
That's if somebody decided to do a study on
if like private study or governmented study.
it. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It
that's what I
stems
was.
from a few ladies were studying femicide and its origin. Okay, well, I was trying to do the math on it. So we got 365 days. I got times 24 hours to see how many. Also, I got 8,760 hours divided by 6, which means that 1,460 women have been killed in a year. Not just domestic through domestic violence, not just through, they just got killed. You know, somebody took their life.
And is this national by state? That was the one thing that I was
Yeah.
kind of clarified on. Because if you had to go by state, I don't know who would do such a report to make it a breakdown by race.
Hmm.
Because if you was to go by that, you would think that you know, but I guess that's really a touchy subject.
What's that? I'm sorry, y'all, I'm back. What was
Oh,
that?
oh, okay. In our topic of, do non-black men protect black women more or better
uh,
than black men, we wandered into the black women being killed every 6 hours. Um, how did they come up with that number? Was there a stat?
that's not a real statistic. First of all, you're
Hmm.
not talking about how many black women will be killed. That's impossible to predict. What they did was they took maybe a year or 2 years of past deaths. Say there was 50,000 black women killed last year and 50,000 killed year before and so forth, whatever. They add it all up and they find the average. That's how they come up with that. That's not a real true stat. That's not actually happening. It's a math equation. That's all it is.
Okay, so basically, like my
Mhm.
math equation, well, by my calculation, if a black woman is killed every 6 hours,
Exactly. So you
then
can
there
come
should
up
be 1,460 black women
exactly,
in a year.
exactly. You can come up right. You can come up with your own math equation. They're just trying to say, they're just trying to bring awareness to the seriousness of black women and children being murdered. That's all they're trying to do. That's not a real stat.
Well, then you heard it here first, because
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking that was real.
No. No, you can't find that. You know, you ain't gonna find nothing like that. That's a math equation. That's an equation that you put together in school and college. Okay, it's kind of
Uh-huh.
like a word problem. You know what I'm saying? If Tim had 10 apples, right, and he gave out two, and he kept three and lost one, how many apples will he have left on an average, right? So it's pretty much like that. It's like, okay, there was 10,000 murders last year of all black women. There was 8,000 a year before. There was 6,000 a year before that. Let's add them all up and find. Let's add them all up and find the average. They add them up, and then they come up with an average of you know uh, 6,000 black women being killed every year. And then what they do is they go back and crunch the numbers, right? And look at what time of day these were, okay? And whatever time of day keeps coming up, right? They crunch that
Hmm.
into an hour. That goes into hours.
Uh-huh.
Okay? That's how they come up with that stuff. So if black women were killed, let's just say 1,000 black women were killed. I don't even want to say that. Let's just say 1,000 black women was going um, at around 4 o'clock in the evening, right? And then maybe some were going at 6:30 in the evening, and some was going in between 5:30 in the evening, right? Well, they just add all that up and they come up with an average. Well, black women was killed every 4 hours, every
Mm,
five
so,
hours, every
hmm
6 hours. Yeah,
so
that's how they come
basically,
up with
they
that stuff.
base that stat on equivalent
Hmm.
to how much medicine you take if you're prescribed. Like you got to take this every 4 hours or every 6 hours. So that's
Hmm.
Exactly,
almost like the
exactly.
equivalent to that.
Hmm. And all it's meant to do is just to bring more. It's a shocker. It's a shock and awe type thing. Oh my God, black women are being killed. It brings your awareness to it. Same thing with black men. Black men are killing each other every 2 seconds. What? Oh my God, where's that at? And it makes
Yeah,
you
because
look for it, right? Uh-huh.
it makes you look for it, but at the same time, so it'll make you think, well, how are we even here? I guess we're
Yeah,
AI. If you're going according to
that's
some
my
of these
problem,
stats, nobody
Tanya.
would
It's
be here.
the misinformation.
Right, right. It's designed to get you looking at it, get you talking about it. Okay, it's designed to make you look like, oh my God, what's going on? Because they feel that there's not enough awareness. I'm sorry, there's not enough attention being paid to it. So they start shocking people. Oh my God, what? Black women are dying every 2 seconds? You know, where? You know what I'm saying? What? Every 5 seconds, a baby is snatched? Where? So it makes you aware of it. That's what they want. They want more attention drawn to it. There's no real stat.
Yeah, because if they had to trace that, say, in a day for all 50 states and U.S.
Hmm.
territories, I
Hmm.
think those stats would be a little different.
It's just
And
like,
you also,
okay, um, it's just like, okay, Tanya, if you had a store with a revolving door, right? And let's just say, I say, okay, Tanya, how many people came through your door today for business from 8 in the morning to 8 at night? Okay, so you got like a little ticker on your door, right? So every time
hmm
somebody came through there, it counted a number. You said, okay, from 8 to 8, right? I have 500 people coming here, 505. Okay, they say, okay, we'll break that down to an average. So what you do is you start going, you create yourself blocks, right? 4 hour blocks. Start breaking down. Okay, how many people came in here in 4 hours? Okay, it was 50, 52. Okay, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, whatever, right? Until you get to 500, and then you just average it all up. And you say, okay, there was an average of 55%.
hmm Yeah, I get that.
You see what I'm
But if
saying?
they
So
had
a
to go,
total of uh, so a
yeah, but
total
if they
of
had to go,
500.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
so a total
That's
of
okay.
505 people came through my door on an average. I would say 55% out of 100. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if they had to go by those numbers and using that as an example, you also got to think about the times that you have slow periods. You also got to think of
Mm-hmm.
time about rush hours and rush.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
numbers would never be the same.
They're never going to be the same exactly.
Mhm.
That's why they go with these averages. Well, around and about. It's really pseudo. It's matter of fact. It's not really pinpoint anything. It's really around the corner type stuff. You know,
Yeah. But when they was
it's
talking
just.
about the
Mm,
protection piece of who would protect more, if you had to apply what we're saying to the real world, the honest answer would be you really can't tell.
mm-hmm.
It's more of a moral standard of where
Mm-hmm.
those men feel the need that they have to protect someone or even a stranger. They can't even quantify that into a statistic.
What they want to do is they want to bring more protection to femicide. You know what I'm saying? For especially for black women, which I ain't got no problem with because I don't like my black women being murdered. So yeah, bring all the attention you want. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's a shame we got this going on. You know.
Yeah, a friend of mine had to go to court this coming week because of what happened to his daughter where I lived at a year ago with a black man that decided that her time was up. Well, luckily for them, they got to get the justice they seek for her. And then I get to thinking about that every 6 hours. And if you
Mm-hmm.
had to go by that, where would
Mm-hmm.
that fit in? Because those type of situations happen everywhere, sometimes at the same time.
Exactly.
So you can't
Exactly. You
really
can read.
quantify that 6 hour thing.
Right. You can come up with your own stat about that. You can come up and say, okay, you heard black women or black men dying every what? You heard at least what? Of that fact, you could say, I live in a war zone. I heard what? 10 black men got shot today. That's on Monday. Tuesday, I heard 7 black men got shot today. And you can go on down the week, right? You can put together your own stat. You can say,
Yeah.
well, where I live at around my building, right, it's an average of 6.5 black men getting shot every day.
Right. But I also think that when they
Mm-hmm.
bring up questions like that, it's to draw a certain negative narrative
Mm-hmm.
as far as the protection goes. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, let's just be honest. We as a people, we're like scrambled eggs when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to things like that. You're going to get
Mm-hmm.
some that say, oh, I believe this is what they do. And then you got the others that say, oh, I would if you do this. Or you got the women that'll say, oh, I would allow you to do this. You know, protection is a natural thing. Either you have it in you to do it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Just plain and simple. It doesn't matter the race of the man, but since we're talking about black men, it's just that as of late that some people are discouraging these men for protecting their own women. Because if they can't even protect their own women from slander by other men of our race, then what's the point?
Well, it depends on, okay, what generation of black men are you talking about?
From what I'm seeing,
Uh,
it's pretty much all of them. And I'm
um,
thinking the ones, well, I put it like this: the men of our generation that's not on that is probably not thinking that way. It's just what
mhm,
they're presenting online,
mhm.
and it's leading towards don't protect them unless they're
Well,
if they're if they're under your coverage or whatever that is. Like
well, when you,
you're talking like it's auto insurance or something.
right, but when you have a large contingent of black males talking about black women's lives don't matter, they have no value, they having sex with underage girls, they arguing the age limit so they can have sex with younger girls. They're saying that black women don't deserve to be protected. They're calling them fat asses when they're pregnant. You have all of this hatred, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when you got fools putting holes in the face of black women size of a softball, okay? When you're doing these types of things, when you're killing shoot them in the stomach while they're pregnant, we're doing all these kinds of things, right? Then no wonder you got people who are making up these statistics to try to ward that off or try to fit what's going on.
I mean, no statistic is not going to take the stink off of you if you're actually doing these things,
Hmm.
and that's my point there.
As far as what?
As far as them use how they using what they're saying and the comparisons. Because
Well,
if
if
you
you
are,
got, I'm sorry, hold on. If you
mhm.
got black men committing all these atrocities, then yeah, they can go overboard and say that black women are being murdered at an alarming rate. And the guys that are talking this craziness will back that up. Because here's this, right? You say, well, hey, they saying black women being killed like hotcakes. And then I go to the social media and I see and hear black men talking about, well, black women's lives don't matter. We need to start killing black women. I see all of that. I'm going to believe what I heard about black women being in trouble and being murdered like that. I'm going to believe that because what I just heard from the social media backs that up. There are black men on social media right now saying that we need to start killing black women.
Wait, what?
Proof or you lying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep, I heard it too. Also heard it.
yeah,
Where's the proof? You gotta say where it came
yeah,
from.
yeah. I heard one on Taz's show. Shout out to Taz. He
I
called in
mean,
and said that.
yeah, there's one particular person whose name begins with an
Oh,
O,
and
who's no
oh,
longer on here as far as I'm concerned, talking about wanting their
Excrement. Down
yeah.
there, excrement. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah.
Hey,
You talking about that
I'm gonna
fool?
have to take y'all's word on it. I'm gonna have to take
Yeah,
y'all's
you
word on
talking,
it. Y'all been around here
talking about
longer than I have.
you talking about that fool Obsidian. And shout out to Taz. Taz in no way agrees with any of that stuff. Okay, so he never said that. But there's somebody that did call in on his show and say I heard it. And so if I hear before I get to that, and I hear this femicide thing, like man, that's sad. Then I get to the social media, black women ain't shit. I hate black women. We need to start murking black women. Black women don't have their lives don't mean nothing to us. Their lives don't have no value. Yeah, I'm going to believe the femicide stuff.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
then top it off with what you actually see reported on the news, it just makes a strong case for it.
Yeah.
They can't win.
Hey, Mella, what's going
Hi.
on? Long
It's
time
good
no
to hear
hear.
you. Yeah, it's good to
It's
hear
good to
you.
hear you too. Good to hear you
Yeah,
too.
yeah, they can't win. The haters can't win. Um,
No.
First of all, they're practicing hatred, and that's all it is, a practice. Um, they will come and go. That's what practicing is. It's not a guaranteed result. Um, it's disturbing to hear, of course. At the same time, they can't win. Haters can't win.
I
They
hope they
just can't.
never do. I hope they never do.
They scratch and survive like Terminator, but they can't win. You know,
Okay, ladies, I got to lay down now.
God's
Medication kicking in.
providence. Um, Okay. God's providence is not going to allow mass murder of black women, in my humble opinion. This is not going to turn out well for men that have these ideations. I understand from what I gather, their nature is you're gonna get down, you're gonna bow down or lay down, that type of thing, right? It's about force, it's about dominance, it's about I need a tool to, you know, to exercise whatever demon is inside, and you're just the tool I need to do it. All I got to do is convince you that that's your purpose in life, is to be used by me. You see what I'm saying? It's a mind game that it's not a foreign concept that men play mind games with women. And thank God for the laws in this country that hold back some of these psychopaths, okay? There are a lot of people. If it were not for the consideration of, legislative accountability, a lot of these psychopaths would be running rampant. I ain't gonna lie, right? Because they just got it in their mind. They're quote unquote stronger than women. They can overtake women. We're bigger. We can beat their ass. They're into that type of ideation. At the same time, they're not trying to really do time in jail. Not for real. Now, those that think they can get away with it, like what's that guy that just got a life imprisonment sentence? You know, he decided to, uh what's the word? Coerce a bunch of women
who were confused about their value in themselves into an isolated situation, and he abused them for a long period of time. And fortunately, when somebody got out and judgment was cast upon him, it's determined that, as a matter of fact, a woman being violated means that you will serve a life sentence without parole in jail. That should give women a semblance as to what their value is. No man has a right to violate you. No man. Um, I won't speak about women on women doing crimes. I'm not saying that, but when it comes to a man committing a crime, a violent sexual crime, a sexual crime, any type of crime against a woman, you gonna do time. Is that really what you want? You know, these psychotic guys, these sociopaths, they really need to ask themselves, okay, I'm bouncing my head off the walls, wanting to hurt a woman for whatever reason. They're gonna pause and ask themselves, well, I really don't want to go to jail. So what I'm asking the panel is, at this moment, how is it that they still continue to try to figure out how they can get away with it? You realize there are sociopaths, psychopaths, they have these ideations of hurting women, and they see the repercussions of doing so. And what they're doing apparently is trying to figure out how to build a better trap. They're trying to figure out how to do it better. They're trying to figure out how to hurt a woman and get away with it. That's what they're trying to do. So I want to discuss that. What are some things that, uh, if we could just skate around the mind of a sociopath, a psychopath, a violent sexual predator, what is it they can come up with in these modern times that would lure a woman or a young girl into their lair? And how can we warn these women not to fall for it? Mm. So that's what I offer as a conversation topic. I didn't hear the entire live stream, but I
We
heard a portion of it.
Okay, the reason why let me give you the context. The reason why we were talking about all this stuff in general was because of the initial prompt being, are black women safer in the black community or with other groups of men?
Yeah, that's situational. It's situational. Like,
That's
because
what I'm
really,
saying, like,
a
because you
white,
can't even
a
really
Caucasian
quantify that.
guy, yeah, a Caucasian guy could exercise violence toward a black woman just as well as a black man could. Is it? My question is, how do we inform people what to look out for so that they don't, get, like, for instance, I like, say for instance, right? Somebody is attracted to me, and I'm fool enough to give them my contact information, like a phone number, and they text me all this good morning, sweetheart, and I can't, I wish I could see your beautiful face. Can you send me a picture and all this other kind, all that crazy shit, right? Next thing I know, you know, they get a picture and they're doing XYZ ABC with it, and it's making me feel compromised in my sense of security. Um, from what I understand, that's called um, um, when you extortion, sextortion. There's a term called sextortion, right? And a lot of young girls have killed themselves because they got caught up in what's being termed as sextortion, sextortion. And it's where, they fall for the charms of some kind of guy, and he asks for a picture, And then he pressures her, he keeps pressuring her. Me, keep in mind, he's not what he looks like, right? He's using some alternate identity to communicate with her. She's a teenage girl. He's using the identity, the false identity of a teenage guy, and he's communicating with her. And he's showing this, heightened sense of interest. And next thing you know, um, she's, I guess, encaptured by the attention. I don't know, but for some strange reason, she doesn't have a good communication relationship with her parents or those who care for her. And she continues to engage in this battery of pressure, this battery of pressure. Like, send me a picture, send me a picture, send me this type of picture, and it only takes one time for some predator to to spot that you're willing to submit. Emphasis on the word submit, because that's going around too. It only takes one time for a predator to spot that you're willing to submit to a request, and that's when they turn it up. That's when they run the pressure. That's when it keeps going and going. And next thing you know, because she's young and her frontal cortex, her brain isn't fully developed, you know, she's like, okay, I'm just giving what he wants. It's just a picture of my boobs. It's just a picture of my body. And next thing you know, she's being extorted. She's being extorted. Like, if you don't continue to do what I say, I'm going to do this. And it could be anything from, you know, uh, what do you call it when you show news online or whatever? Porn revenge. It could be anything from that to threatening your family and all types of stuff. And there are girls that are committing suicide because they got themselves caught in a trap of sextortion. And this is where I'm going with this. It's like, we need to let these young, because this is a new technology, right? That I was not familiar with in my young adult years. I am not ashamed to say I was not savvy in my young adult years. It's safe to say that a lot of young people aren't savvy. They're not in tune with a predatory mindset. And so when they are receiving favorable attention from somebody, they think it's genuine. It's like, oh, and God forbid they throw a whole lot of lettuce, sauce, pickles, onions, and cheese with the compliments on it. It's like, next thing
Mhm.
you know, some young person, it could be a boy too, who is not accustomed to feeling sure about themselves, they get caught up in these media exchanges, right? And they can be lured to a location where, God forbid, they're kidnapped or worse, um, you know, or they're being extorted for, you know, you, you know, they got talked into sending something they wasn't supposed to really be foolish enough to send. And they're too embarrassed to tell their family, like, look, I'm caught up in some dumb shit. What do I do? You know, I remember listening to this story. This girl said, I never wanted to be a disappointment to my mother. That's why I didn't tell her. And that's why I let it go too far. When he first threatened, I just, I was stuck. I was like, I knew this was wrong, but I felt like, okay, this is my fault. I have to follow through with it. And next thing you know, it went really, really off the rails. And fortunately they caught the guy. They caught the guy. But my point is, uh the interviewer asked her, why didn't you tell your mother that this was happening to you? And she said that i I never wanted to be a disappointment to her. So this is what I am emphasizing. It's important to tell these young people that when it comes to being cared for, They care for you for a reason. They've raised you for a reason. They're your parents, they're your aunts, they're they're your loved ones for a reason. It's because they want you to see your best height of greatness. And whenever that includes whenever you encounter something that brings you to a crossroads, they're ready to intervene. And I really, I mean, all these dumbass conversations on YouTube about, gender wars and all this other kind of, I hate women, I hate men, and women should have an island alone, and men should chop women's heads off, whatever. What I'm talking about is these young people, okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay, Mel. I'm gonna have to do this, but okay, I'm breaking in because I got the point what you're saying, but what most people misunderstanding with this because right now it's happening over social media, it's happening over the internet and all that stuff. They think it's a new situation.
Young people are
It's
killing
a
themselves.
yeah, I know, but the thing is, it's the same thing. Okay, predators use the same lures, or they track their prey and lead them into the same trap. It's just that right now they're using social media and internet because that's the where the young people are at. That's where the unsuspecting prey is. Yes, we do have to emphasize with the kids that okay, they're going to make mistakes. No matter how bad the mistake is, their parents would not want them to be in a situation where they giving in to sex to a predator that lured them into doing something that they knew they weren't supposed to do and then use it to blackmail them to go further than they ever planned to or thought to do.
That's right.
Um,
It's just like what she just said earlier. They just try to reinvent the wheel of crazy, and crazy doesn't have a manual. Dysfunction doesn't have a manual. All they do is change their tactics. The only thing we can do is make these things aware to make ourselves, especially with the young, make yourselves accessible to these kids to where they can come to you with such a thing. And I
mhm.
think that's the first step. Or come to someone that's trusted. But nowadays, it used to be back in our day, go to your teacher, and it's hard these days to tell who you could trust if you're being victimized in such a way.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
you could
Yeah.
just put it out there as something to look forward to,
Mhm.
to warn them about. You can hope for the best to point out all these major traps, trials, and tribulation that these youngins can face when they go out there in the real world, and hope that they have enough to come to you if they face such a problem or they
Yes,
see themselves in a problem, or to avoid it altogether. But like
yes,
you said,
yes.
they're
Tell
only
these young
human
people,
and they'll make the
tell these young
mistakes.
people that you know and love. When you ask them how they doing, go further than that. It's like, okay, nobody's bothering you. Your grades are good, right? Nobody's bothering you, distracting you from keeping your grades good. Like, if something's bothering you, your family will step in and fix it. You know that, right? Like, emphasize that if something is bothering you, your family will step in and fix it. Like,
Yeah,
just reassure them that they don't have to deal with the conflict by themselves, so that they can tell you, like, well, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I, s- I did this. I was just like, okay, 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 it's not the end of the world. People have done worse. It's gonna be all right. We gonna fix it. Just let them know that you got them. Like, look, just tell me what's up. Just tell me what's up, because they sit in a room and they ruminate on what they did, and they think there's no way out, because this is a new technology. Okay? This is a new technology. And when somebody threatens that they're going to quote unquote expose you, you know, you got to have support to be strengthened by that, you know. I guess even adult too. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's true too, because more or less it's more adult women finding themselves in situations like that where they're using that coercion, online coercion by way of
Mm-hmm.
extortion.
Yep.
So, I mean, someone can get caught up in that, and it's somebody that knows they're protected by others and know they can come to them. That even as an adult, I say that with my own children. I've told them straight up, your dad and I don't keep bail money for nothing.
Uh-huh.
Come to us if it's something we can help you with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm finna get off because I need to catch me some shut eye because boy, they had me running all day today. But this conversation was very interesting, and thanks for having me on.
Okay. Thanks for coming up, Tanya.
All right,
I
thanks so
wish you
much.
could. I wish you could stay for the next two topics, but I understand.
All right, well, you guys have a good evening.
You have a good
I'm
evening.
telling you. All
All right,
righty.
bye bye.
Okay. Yeah. Because another thing, when she talk about adult women getting lured into that, thanks, Tanya. Yes. Okay. I don't know what goes through the mindset, but sometimes it's think of I'm gonna just give it to him one time. You know, whether it's the picture, whether it's the sex or anything, thinking I'm gonna give it to him one time and that'll be it. And next thing you know, they caught up like that. All right, so there goes Mel. We'll see if she come back a little later. But yeah, that's what that's what sometimes happens even with adult women. You thinking that okay, I'm just gonna give him some one time, or I'm just gonna send him a picture one time, or I'm gonna send him the the breast pictures and stuff like that. But what happens is the pressure just ratchets up. They want more. They want the kitty cat, the butt. They want your full face. The full body length, so you can see. Um, um, or they want more sex. I used to shake a friend because she was under the mistaken impression of okay, I'm gonna give him sex one time and that'll be it, and then wonder why he keeps coming back for more and more. Uh, uh, Predators are just that way. You give them a little taste, they're gonna keep ratcheting it up because you already crossed your line. You have a line that you do not cross it, but then you cross it. Okay, so what else I could get you to do?
Dang, where'd everybody go?
Okay, Tanya left. It's getting late. I think um she just wants to rest up. Mela just fell off. I was gonna do the next topic, which is, and I really wanted to hear their on it was I know what you do on the road, just don't bring it home. Uh, yeah, yeah, because that was gonna be the next that was gonna be the next topic, but so if your woman if your woman tells you I know what you do on the road, just don't bring it home, what does that say to you, Demetrius? Are you still talking with Dirty Varmint?
Yeah, I'm having the time of my life, man. this is the funniest thing ever.
Uh-huh.
No, because it's like when you see somebody who don't know what they talking about,
Mhm.
and they you are well versed in the inner workings of something, and the design, the backstory, the even down to the way the creator wrote the book, and they're trying to make it, it's like somebody trying to tell you about Harry Potter, but you know more about Harry Potter than they do. But anyways, what was your point that you wanted to ask me? Dame?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic. Okay. Oh, as I was saying, we're going. I decided I'm going to do these last two topics for episode 5. Mm-hmm.
And when is episode 5?
Probably it'll be next Saturday.
Heard you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What was
Yeah.
what you wanted to ask me? You asked me a question.
Oh, I did, but I decided that was the next topic. I decided I'm going to do it for episode 5. Okay, the heads up for everybody. So you know what one of the topics is for tomorrow. I know what you do on the road. Just don't bring it home.
Absolutely not. That is a unacceptable
Uh,
premise or rule.
okay, well we're gonna
It
go into
promotes, hold on, let me say it like this. Because it promotes a culture of dishonesty and distrust. Because why are you stepping out in general?
uh-huh. Okay, instant thought. That's how you heard it. Okay, okay. Okay, dirty varmint. Okay, Mel is Wi-Fi or computer probably acting up. Okay, so keep that thought. We're gonna do this next Saturday. That's one of our two topics. I'm probably gonna come up with some more topics, but let's just say the previous two have pulled our attention, and then Mela wanting to inform the young people that you can go to your family. Um she don't want uh especially young women but to get we should also just include young people to get themselves blackmail into something they didn't want to do, didn't plan to do, because they made a mistake and trusted the wrong person, and they end up getting blackmailed. And some of them don't see their way out of it, so they have committed suicide. That is a long term answer to a short term problem. You could tell your family, you could talk to them. They would rather you come to them with that instead of you being forced to do something you don't want to do, or blackmail into doing stuff you don't want to do, being pretty much somebody's sex slave, you know. And no matter how bad you think what it is you done, you broke some rules, you crossed the line, and basically you made a mistake. Your family would not want you to would not want you to do that. They rather you come with them, we deal with whatever it is, and you probably find it's not as bad as you think. What's bad is that you held all that in and you didn't seek them out when they could have protected you. Or worse yet, you took your life rather than come to them and tell them. They rather have you here than for you to take your life. So, so if you find yourself, if you're a young person listening to this, and you find yourself where you're being blackmailed um, into doing stuff you don't want to do, things of a sexual nature, just things you just don't want to do, or you're not comfortable with because you made a mistake and you trusted somebody, and now they're trying to take your mistake and blackmail you to doing more than you want to do. It's best to just go ahead, tell your parents, tell somebody you trust, that I made a mistake and this is what happened. Can you help me? And you'll find that, yeah, they're gonna be kind of mad. They're gonna be upset because you were put in this situation, but they rather you had come to them um, than for you to risk yourself further or keep yourself in harm's way. Because whether you believe it or know it or not, you're in harm's way. Um, so let's end it on that note. Peace, power, unity, everyone. Um, come back next week on the Ebony Star Network. We'll go on to the other topics and we'll end it like that. All right, I'm going over my time, so no music tonight, everybody. We're just going to end it right here. Dirty Varmint, you and Demetrius can have to continue to chat somewhere else or exchange emails and chit chat that way. Or just y'all know I'm gonna be here next week. So we'll see you both for next week. Peace, power, and unity. Thanks Mela and Tanya for coming up. Thanks Mel for coming into the chat and keeping us up with the facts. And maybe one of these days we're gonna lure you back on the panel and come on and just speak your mind. All right. And we're gonna be out of here. All right, here we go.